Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome back to Forced Strategy Gaming. How's everybody doing today? Today we will be watching a match between RoXKISLiveZerg and KiWiKaKi. We can see spawning here in the 6 o'clock position, we do have KiWiKaKi as our Blue Terror Protoss player. And here in the 12 o'clock, RoXKISLiveZerg as the Red Zerg player. Yes, we are here on Metalopolis, and I was sent this game and told it was a must-see. So must-see, to me, means a must-cast as well. So this will be my first go-through at the game, as always, with my commentaries. I watch it first when you guys see it as well. I just commentary, play through it, and that is that. Overlord moving straight into the near air position, whatever you want to call it. Unfortunately, that is not KiWiKaKi's base, and RoXKISLiveZerg will be finding that out in just one moment. Back over here, look at this. KiWiKaKi with the pylon placement here. Very interesting positioning here. Obviously, we are going to be seeing a Forge Fast expand, but I'm interested in his pylon placement. A lot of times you see pylon here, Forge next to it, and then maybe a cannon behind it, maybe another cannon over here, but a little bit different. Not having the pylon up at the front, maybe just to try to protect it a little bit more. That would be my logic, my thought process behind that. But we will have to see how KiWiKaKi decides to formulate the wall over here. Back over here, we can see KiWiKaKi's scouting probe moving inside of the main base here of LiveZerg. Looks like LiveZerg will be going pool first into extractor, I'm going to assume, and then the expansion thereafter. Back over here, main base inside of KiWiKaKi, nothing still as of yet, sitting now at 16 supply and still hasn't dropped any building. Usually, we're going to be seeing that Forge by now, but looks like KiWiKaKi working a little bit harder on that probe count before he decides to actually drop down that Forge and that Nexus. Back over here, LiveZerg finally up with that extractor. The probe of KiWiKaKi will be chilling out at the expansion, possibly trying to do some harassment. And here we go, finally, KiWiKaKi dropping down the Forge. Yes, looks like the Forge will be taking up that corner. Nexus is here, and it looks like we've got enough space probably for a gateway, unless he decides to just use a cannon and leave a little bit of space. That's a possibility as well. Another pylon for KiWiKaKi being placed down here behind the mineral field. This will stop any Zergling run-bys from the rear and then possibly even give him enough pylon power for another cannon somewhere over here. So yes, KiWiKaKi clearly with that Forge Fast expand, there is that cannon right there as well. And there's the gateway. Look at that. So yes, KiWiKaKi finishing off that wall, cannon right behind that. Back over here, main base of LiveZerg. We can see that expansion is now up. Zerglings dancing around looking for that probe scout that has actually left the building. We can see now moving back here, and it looks like he's actually going to be hiding right in the smoke screen. And look at that, kind of nudged right up in the corner right there. Very interesting positioning for him. Now we can see right now LiveZerg moving across the map, and yes, he's going to be dancing around trying to find that probe. Might as well get that free kill if at all possible. Back over here, KiWiKaKi's second cannon here being placed right in the mineral field, but obviously helping to prevent against any harassment from any speedlings that may be coming through. And LiveZerg moving through with the Zergling, going to be moving right next to KiWiKaKi's probe, but he didn't see it. LiveZerg did not scout that, unbelievably so. It looks like with that probe kind of nestled in that little nook right there. As you can see, there's like a little corner, a little wedge there. I guess the Zergling inside of the smoke screen cannot see the probe because he's technically outside of it. Very interesting, very neat. I definitely did not ever realize that. It's nothing I ever, I guess, did any research into either, but very neat little trick for you trying to hide any probes inside of your opponent's base. Look at that. That's a perfect position for you. Back over here, LiveZerg saturating that natural expansion, does have the metabolic boost coming out. Looks like he has, still zoomed in. Looks like he has pulled guys off the extractor for now, just working on that drone count. Would like to see him possibly even get out a third queen, but that's not necessary, but is nice to see if at all possible. Zealot chasing down the Zergling. Zergling did take, it looks like, one shot from either the cannon or the Zealot and is retreating right now. I'm actually going to assume that was the Zealot. Would be a lot less health if it was from the cannon. Back over here, Overlord pinched right in the corner to the right-hand side of KiWiKaKi's expansion. Also another Overlord over here. One or both of those will eventually be used for sacrificial scouting. I'm going to have to assume that is the case. We can see that Warp Gate research coming out. Also, level 1 upgrade right now coming out for KiWiKaKi. So could be seeing a 6 or 7 gate level 1 push. That is kind of the most popular transition from a Forge Fast expand when you see that level 1 coming this early in the game. And it looks like, yes, LiveZerg has gone for that third in scouting that fast expansion expansion for KiWiKaKi. LiveZerg deciding he does need this third one up. We do still have the probe chilling out here in the corner. We'll be interested to see if we may actually get some proxy pylon placement. That is quite possible. Back over here, LiveZerg coming down with the Roach Warren, has finally resaturated that extractor. Another extractor coming on through as well, and another. So we'll be working with 3 in the early game. Zerglings doing a good job of maintaining that map control, grabbing those Zelnaga towers. So very crucial. We do have a small task force here for KiWiKaKi moving across the map. Just 1 Zealot, actually moving instead into the third right there. 1 Zealot and 2 Stalkers. Back over here for KiWiKaKi. What does he have? Oh, look at that. 6 gateways is what we will be seeing. So a 6-gate push. Very, very likely to be coming from KiWiKaKi. Can be incredibly strong. We'll be very interested to see how LiveZerg is able to defend against it. Now, he does have this Roach Warren coming on through. Also, that layer is just about finished right now, and the 3rd expansion is up. So with that Roach Warren finished, Roaches will do very well at defending against the 6-gate push. The major concern is dealing with those force fields, so we will see what takes place. It is, of course, going to depend as well on how many sentries we see KiWiKaKi go with. He could very well just be going Zealot Stalker heavy. That is still very effective, but Sentry's a very strong unit and certainly can help make the difference in these early game pushes. So let's see what KiWiKaKi decides to do. He does have the level 1 armor coming out here as well, but looks like he will be pushing with just the level 1 weapons upgrade right now. Moving across the map, take a look here at the units. Let's take a look at the army tab as well. Looks like LiveZerg is actually ahead right now with 29, but once we get 1 or 2 more warpins, KiWiKaKi should tilt those scales back in his favor. And here we go, LiveZerg, lots of Roaches right now, sitting out 11. He's got 2 more coming through. We do have KiWiKaKi transitioning into a Stargate as well, but here comes the push, here comes the aggression. Looks like we are seeing no sentries here, just Zealots and Stalkers that will allow those Roaches to try to micro away from the Zealots. We have the drones pulling down and getting us around there on the Stalkers, preventing them from pulling away. This will allow the Queens and the Roaches to get right up on those Stalkers, and unfortunately for KiWiKaKi, really hasn't done all that much damage. LiveZerg losing a few of those drones, but not that many. So LiveZerg looks like he has successfully defended. Now, obviously, this wasn't a full strength 6K push simply because of the fact that, as we can see, KiWiKaKi did drop down these 2 Stargates. He's got a Void Ray and a Phoenix coming out into play, so that wasn't a full force, as strong as you can get kind of push from KiWiKaKi. Just kind of testing the waters. His main goal in that was to try to drop this expansion. Clearly, though, unfortunately for KiWiKaKi, that did not happen. 1 probe trying to get target fire down. The Zergling, though, does get taken care of from the small group of units here from KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi dropping down the 3rd expansion right now. Nexus is warping its way on in. We do have Zerglings scouting around the map, checking for that possible expansion. In fact, checking up here just in case KiWiKaKi decided to try to hide a sneaky expansion. Here we go, Zerglings starting to work down this Nexus. Now, KiWiKaKi does have the units over here to deal with that. At the same time, big Roach push coming across the map for LiveZerg, moving straight into the natural expansion. And let's see how much damage he can do. We'll be moving on forward. Looks like he'll be target firing down the pylon. At the same time, Zerglings working on this expansion. Looks like the Void Ray will be trying to take care of those Zerglings. Roaches dropping the 1 pylon, then retreating momentarily. Zerglings have been forced away. Cannon finally warped in. That should help against any additional small group of Zergling pushes that LiveZerg may try. And it looks like the Roach army has pushed back right now, so only losing a pylon there. KiWiKaKi able to defend himself pretty well. Back over here, we do still have this proxy pylon and the idle probe sitting over here for KiWiKaKi. Looks like LiveZerg again spotting the expansions. KiWiKaKi moving into a 3rd. Instantly, LiveZerg goes into his 4th, and unfortunately, probe gets dropped, pylon gets dropped. KiWiKaKi momentarily there sitting on a supply block. Void Ray moving across the map, and right now with his Void Ray, KiWiKaKi should be able to deny any vision at those towers because there isn't really enough anti-air at this point besides those Queens, and those Queens are obviously staying inside of the main base by those hatcheries and or layers. So yes, 4th coming through right now for LiveZerg. LiveZerg still does have these idle Overlords sitting over here. Does he have Overlord speed? No, he does not. Opted not to get that. Now, he does have an infestation pit up. I do see the pathogen glands coming on through. Also, the level 2 missile attacks coming out. Lots of Hydras coming into play. Once those Hydras hit the map, it should be a little bit easier for him to deal with these Void Rays. One major concern, though, Hydras so very slow off the creep. This will still allow KiWiKaKi to move aboard and move around, rather. And what is going? Look at that! All those Phoenixes completely missed it. I saw the production of that one. I missed all of these other ones. KiWiKaKi sitting idle right now with these Phoenixes. You may be wondering, why is he doing this? Basically, he does not want LiveZerg to know he has Phoenixes until he has enough to do devastating amounts of damage. We do see Overlords sitting all over the map, and those Phoenixes will be able to snipe those down quite quickly. Zerglings scouting around, burrowed Zerglings, very good at denying expansions, delaying them at the very least. And Void Ray trying to work down the 4th expansion, but Hydra's moving forward will shoo away this Void Ray. Unfortunately, again, Hydra's off of creep, just a little too slow to actually catch up. The Void Ray should be able to escape, and there he goes. We got a couple units moved across the map, sitting pretty Zealot heavy, but again, that's primarily because he spent all of the Vespian that he has into all of these Phoenixes. Has a few more Phoenixes coming out right now, so KiWiKaKi going very, very Phoenix heavy. Hopefully he does manage to do a bit of damage with that. Looks like KiWiKaKi will be trying to move into this expansion, but again, look at that, the burrowed Zergling not denying completely, because obviously this will get taken care of at some point, but delaying it tremendously. It will be forced to come down with these cannons, because I don't think he has a Robo right now. Now we do see this Dark Shrine is in play. I do not see any Dark Templar on the map yet, but hopefully he does make use of that at some point soon. There we go, 4 Dark Templar getting warped in, but at the same time, here comes a big, strong Roach push here from LiveZerg, moving into the natural nopes. Looks like he will be dancing around before he actually commits to any particular location. Sacrificial Overlord spotting all of those Phoenixes, so right now LiveZerg is aware of the heavy amount of Phoenixes right now, and here we go, the Roach push moving on to the attempted expansion here of KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi is pushing down with a lot of those charged Elves, those DTs, both DTs sitting in here, and here come the Phoenixes as well, but burrowed Roaches and no cloak detection, so right now KiWiKaKi cannot deal with these. Finally, the Robo is coming through, just about finished right now, and we will expect that Observer. There we go, Roaches on burrowing, doing a bit of damage. Are they going to re-burrow as well after picking off a few of those units? There we go, Roaches again, the Graviton beam lifted there from those Phoenixes, and LiveZerg not actually re-burrowing there. Now, there were 4 DT that got warped in. Do we still have 4? No, just 2 right now. So I am interested to see what happened to those additional 2 DT. I'm guessing they tried to harass, but taking a look over here, we can see LiveZerg adequately defended here with the Spore Crawlers and the Spine Crawlers as well, so the DT harass won't be that effective. But here come the Phoenixes right now, moving across the map for KiWiKaKi, doing a bit of damage to the Overlords. We'll be sniping down those Queens. That is a big loss as a Zerg player. Really cuts back on your larva production. Very, very frustrating to deal with that. And look at that, so much energy sniping down all of these drones. Very difficult situation for LiveZerg. Is he pulling down? But look at that fungal growth from all of these infestors, and this is too bad for KiWiKaKi. He will be losing all of these Phoenixes right now. He really does not have the opportunity. There's so much energy right now on these infestors that there's really no way those Phoenixes can escape. Looks like one managing to sneak away just barely with 23 hit points left. And pretty intense action there. That Phoenix harass could have been completely devastating for LiveZerg. He lost his queen, lost a bunch of drones as well, but obviously, as we saw, once those infestors came into play, LiveZerg had no problem fending off that Phoenix harass. Let's take a look again at what's going on. Looks like he has abandoned the thought of DT, just sticking with Archons for now. Lots of Delts in play as well. Taking a look here at the Army tab. Looks like LiveZerg is at a huge advantage right now. 100 army supplies opposed to the 67. A lot of the supply, though, is dumped into those utility units, the infestors. Let's take a look at the units lost tab, or resources lost tab for those units, and it looks like KiWiKaKi slightly behind right now, losing a little bit more than LiveZerg. Now, we do have a big push coming across right now. Lots of Roaches, Hydras, and infestors. We do have a lot of charged also, and Archons. Those Archons will do very well against any of those clumped up units with that splash damage. There we go. Charge coming through with those Zealots. Archons pulling into play, but look at these infestors with the Neural Parasite there, taking control of some of these Archons and putting them against the units of KiWiKaKi. Fungal growth, stopping those Zealots dead in their track, and LiveZerg doing quite a bit of damage right now. Very, very unfortunate for KiWiKaKi. You can see, though, any of those Archons that are left uncontrolled just tear through this Zerg army. They do so much damage. Look at that, very devastating. A few Dark Templar being warped in there as well to mop up the rest of that push. LiveZerg did do a bit of damage there. Let's take another look at the unit lost tab, but it looks like KiWiKaKi was finally able to even things up, and in fact, he is at the slight advantage right now. Back over here, we do have LiveZerg trying to spread some creep, but we do have pylons coming in. Let's see if we get any cannons or anything to deal with that. He could just, of course, move over some anti-air as well. That would certainly do the trick. Yeah, just sitting with these pylons. Nexus is up, so it looks like KiWiKaKi will be moving right now into his 5th base. Now, we do already have LiveZerg on 5 5 bases mining. Looks like he is pretty much mining on about 3.5 right now. I would say that, you know, that's about a half a base between these two in terms of the resources available. There we go, Stalkers warped in, finally taking care of the Overlord. Looks like the Overlord does finally have that Overlord speed. We are at Hive Tech right now, so let's see if we do have any Hive units that will be coming through. Where is the Spire? Yes, Greater Spire is in, so we could be seeing some Broodlords. Do we have any yet? No, we do not, but still, he does have that opportunity at some point. Look at all those spine crawlers. Look at that over here as well. Lots of spines and a few spores being placed down at the same time. Big push coming across the map for LiveZerg. Very interesting. I do not see this very often, but I'm definitely liking this here by LiveZerg. Here we go, major army of LiveZerg moving across the map. He will be trying to target fire or target down any of those mining bases. He could also move into this expansion, and it looks like that is what he will be doing, trying to drop down some of these crucial buildings here. We do have this forge researching. If that gets taken out, that would be very unfortunate for KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi coming out the backside, though. A couple Archon Charge Zealots, DT Stalkers, and Colossus, and that is very devastating for this Roach Hydra army, but how will these Infestors do? There we go. A Neuroparasite going down on those Colossus, and that is unfortunate for KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi losing his army because of those Neuroparasites. He did lose that forge, losing that gateway there as well, so KiWiKaKi losing a lot in this engagement right now. He does have 2 additional Colossus out. I don't think those Infestors know they lack the energy right now for any further Neuroparasites. We have the Roaches trying to push forward. Hydras will be taking down this expansion, so KiWiKaKi, even though there aren't a lot of resources left here at this expo, losing that expansion certainly does hurt him. Roaches trying to push forward. We have one Colossus pretty low on health, but he will be sitting in the back nice and safe. That is the goal there for KiWiKaKi. Does need to be careful, though. Roach is getting dangerously close. Target firing down that Colossus. Finally, LiveZerg, very nice play there by him. We did see the loss of expansion here for KiWiKaKi, losing that forge, and maybe one, if not 2 gateways he lost there as well. At the same time, we do have LiveZerg moving into his 6th expansion. We did take a look right before that engagement. Look at these spine crawlers and spores sitting right in the middle. It's not going to stop any pushes, but it will certainly delay any small task force from moving across the map to do any kind of secondary attacks. So very smart play there by LiveZerg. This has certainly been an interesting game thus far. Just very, very interesting turn of events, I would have to say. Looks like KiWiKaKi is starting to work his way back into Void Rays right now, sitting with a lot of gateways here at that 3rd expansion. He does, of course, have those Colossus in play. Thermal Lance already been upgraded. I would definitely have expected that by now. And now we do have Blink Stalkers in here for KiWiKaKi. The reason I mentioned that is because taking a look there up in the production tab, we can see, look at that, lots and lots of Broodlords here for LiveZerg. LiveZerg definitely sitting on the economy to afford that with this high yield, 6 total bases, mining from most of them as well. I mean, he is still mining from that natural expansion. That just goes to show you LiveZerg doing a great job of not out-mining any of these bases. You, of course, always want to be mining from as many bases as possible throughout the course of the game, and that's why they suggest whenever you expand, trying to split up your worker count so you do not out-mine your main way before your natural, because mining from 2 bases is clearly preferable to mining from 1 base. Back over here, not a lot at all, actually, for our buddy KiWiKaKi. Let's take a look at the army supply now. They are about equal. LiveZerg sitting with that slight advantage, but given the tech advantage here of these Broodlords, I mean, definitely sitting on some really high tech, can be very effective. Now, Blink Stalkers will, of course, take care of that. So will the Void Rays, but how much anti-air do we have over here? Pretty much sitting on those Infestors. Taking a look over here. Do we have any Hydras? No, we do have those Corruptors for anti-air, though, so no Hydras, just pretty much sitting Corruptor, Infestor, Broodlord. So LiveZerg with a very expensive army, that is certainly the case, but can definitely pay off if he's got the right micro. If he can protect these Broodlords, he will certainly be in a very strong position. Now those Colossus will obviously take care of those Broodlings, but not before taking damage, really, because those Broodlings will swoop right up on the Stalkers and right up on those Colossus as well if they're within range. Looks like Infestors will be leading the way. This is not something you see every day, being such a valuable unit, but at the same time, he does need to protect these Broodlords. So here comes the engagement. Broodlords moving down, losing 3 Infestors already to some Colossus fire, but watch these Broodlings go to town. Now we do have Void Rays moving forward. We'll be trying to target fire down some of these units, and there we go, seeing some very, very nice Neural Parasites there, grabbing some of those Colossus. Is he grabbing any of those Void Rays? No. Looks like he will just try to be using those Corruptors, maybe some Fungal Growth. Hopefully, there we go. Big Fungal Growth going down on a lot of the units, losing the Broodlords steadily. Blink Stalkers moving right underneath the Broodlords. Looks like those Infestors are out of energy, and this is not looking that good here for LiveZerg. LiveZerg's attack has been thwarted, is forced to pull back right now. This Broodlord is a goner. He does have this slight defense here, and this is actually going to come into play if we see a counterattack here from KiWiKaKi, but KiWiKaKi, no, right now, not. Yes, there we go. Finally, I did expect that counterattack, but I wasn't sure why he wasn't actually moving out. But looks like he will be running into some sort of opposition here. Now, we do have a few more Corruptors coming out. Do we have any more Broodlords in play? No, just with those Corruptors, and actually pushing forward with all these Corruptors and those Infestors, and that is all he really has right now. And a huge fungal growth going down. Those Colossus are goners. There are way too many Corruptors right now, and the fungal growth will be trying to do a bit of damage to that ground army as well, but retreating to the safety there of those spine crawlers. And the major reason right now that KiWiKaKi isn't continuing up that push is because of those spines. Because, you know, once taking out those Colossus, this small group of Stalkers and Zealots really doesn't stand much of a chance against these Spore Crawlers, plus some fungal growths here from those Infestors. And here we go, a few more Broodlords coming out. Clearly, LiveZerg sitting with the economy, sitting on a lot of minerals right now. And this is the point in the game where those Zerglings can certainly come into play, because you have all those extra resources. And yes, he will be upgrading those to the Cracklings, getting those adrenal glands there, making them that much more effective. And I mean, again, this is the point of the game that he can really do it. Sitting on extra larva, sitting on extra minerals, you really start to get gas starved and float minerals this late in the game. We're at a 30-minute game right now. Do we have any sort of transition? Yes, big transition. In fact, we've got carriers coming out as well as a mothership. Where's that mothership? There it is. So KiWiKaKi coming out with that late game mothership, carriers as well, trying to use that to thwart this big invasion of Infestors and these Broodlords. But major concern here is with these Infestors, those carriers and that mothership would of course be a prime target there for LiveZerg, so we will have to see how KiWiKaKi properly positions his units to defend against that. Now, something that I'm really loving that LiveZerg has done this entire game is prevent any type of harass. We have not seen any major harass go down from KiWiKaKi, and this is a good example why, because I'm really feeling like LiveZerg is in a strong position because his economy has gone unhindered pretty much this entire game. Even this high yield, LiveZerg hasn't really had to deal with much harassment just because he has been so aggressive himself against KiWiKaKi. It's really put KiWiKaKi on the back foot. KiWiKaKi, of course, also very worried about trying to expand here, knowing that Broodlords are in the map, and here we go. Here comes another push. There are those Speedlings just about to turn into those Cracklings in just one moment. We do have a DT, but that gets taken care of because, yes, we do have an Overseer over here. Look at all his Broodlings just chilling out. But here comes another big push from LiveZerg, and KiWiKaKi, lacking that high yield expansion, is certainly going to put him behind after this battle. Once reinforcements do come into play, Broodlords taking care of these straggler pylons and photon cannons get taken care of without losing much of anything because of course, those Broodlings, even though they're taking damage, who really gives a crap? Doesn't really make a difference at all. Making a big push right now, but here we go, mothership coming into play, and yes, oh, big vortex going down. LiveZerg losing everything but doing the proper thing and pulling all of his units into there. He does not want to lose half of his army. He will wait until his units pop out and engage with everything. That is exactly what you want to do, and let's see how KiWiKaKi can do this now. Same with a lot of carriers. All the units bunch up. Will be taking a lot of splash damage. Charged Zealots pushing right on in. Broodlords trying to do what they can. Are we seeing any Neural Parasite? We do have a Neural Parasite there on that carrier, and that, as mentioned, probably would be that prime target there. And there are so many Broodlords and so many Corruptors. Corruptors do want to target fire. There we go. Finally, LiveZerg using those to target fire, dropping some of that corruption down, taking care of that carrier so very quickly, and the Broodlords mopping up those ground forces, and KiWiKaKi looks to be in trouble. He's got a couple more carriers coming out, but LiveZerg sitting in a prime spot, coming out with 18 more Corruptors as well, so we'll be reinforcing with this anti-air, and the mothership sitting in the background will get target fire down. Where was that mothership during that entire engagement? I'm guessing he pulled that to the back because he didn't want to just lose it to those Corruptors, but obviously being in that engagement could have helped with that cloak detection. However, we do have this Overseer here, so maybe that was his thought process behind it, but unfortunately, KiWiKaKi will be losing this base. No counterattack, nothing in response here. KiWiKaKi just been so focused on defending himself this entire game. And look at this, so many Corruptors in play. Blink Stalkers moving right under these Broodlords and doing a great job of mopping them up, but look at how much damage those Broodlings do. But look at that, Broodlords are gone right now. So with the Blink Stalker reinforcements, KiWiKaKi able to fend off that attack, but we've got a lot of Corruptors getting prepared to be transferred into Broodlords, and I'm guessing we probably will see some Zerglings come into play as well, although he's already close to supply cap, so may not even bother with those Zerglings. Still nothing going on. There's been no countermeasure, and it's just pretty much been these large engagements throughout the entire game. Haven't really seen a lot of harass from either player, just big pushes and big fights, and that certainly is entertaining, and I cannot believe that Vortex came into play. But as I mentioned, during that fight, LiveZerg certainly did the right thing in pulling all of his guys into it, because the danger is if you leave only half your guys inside of the Vortex and you fight with the rest, then you lose half, and then the other half pop out and you lose them because you're outmatched in both engagements. But if you put all of your guys into the Vortex and all come out as one big unit, then you can fight with everybody at once. And we can see right now, looks like LiveZerg will be trying to throw away some of these drones here, walking right into the photon cannons, so freeing up some supply there is the mentality. He is, of course, getting very close to being mined out right now, so he doesn't need quite as many drones as he has at the moment. So once more, yes, freeing up some supply, and this is unreal that we are in this stage of the game. Lots of Corruptors, lots of Broodlords sitting in play here as well. KiWiKaKi has finally got up that expansion once more, so we'll be able to start mining closely instead of going for all that remote mining there up until this Nexus. He is mined out over here, trying to work his way into this high yield. Very dangerous, though, against Broodlords on this map. It's so easy for Broodlords to just sit right here and shell out on any mining units, and I of course do expect LiveZerg to do that, coming out with a lot of Broodlords here. A couple Infestors will be coming into play, and actually he is not even bothering trying to get some Zerglings right now. He just wants to keep up with all these techie units. Clearly it's been working pretty well for him. Taking a look here at the unit loss tab, still KiWiKaKi is behind, and he's been kind of slightly behind this entire game with the exception of 1 or 2 points. He's pretty much been behind more or less this entire time, just because of this continuous aggression that we've been seeing from LiveZerg. And here comes the push again with the Broodlords, Corruptors, and Infestors, forcing the hand of KiWiKaKi. KiWiKaKi moving forward with that blank. Some big fungal growth going down, and Corruptors moving forward here as well to try to deal with the carriers. Looks like the carrier, one carrier right here, will be trying to engage at this, get target fire down very quickly, but oh my gosh, look at those Blink Stalkers just tear through all of those Broodlords. So Broodlords getting taken care of very quickly, and watch this reinforcement here. 136 Zerglings coming out right now for LiveZerg, so he is getting ready for this response, and look at how quickly those build. Those Zerglings will be about to take over the map in just one moment. Few more Broodlords coming in. Now those Zerglings, especially being cracklings, will do pretty well against these Blink Stalkers, and especially with those large numbers. So watch these Zerglings stream on in and try to get us around here on these Blink Stalkers. Stalkers trying to keep away as much as possible. The Zerglings, if they get up close, do a lot of damage. We'll be seeing a lot of those Zerglings move in to try to get us around, and look at that, the Blink Stalkers just taking so much damage. Nice job wedging themselves, though, in the corner. Now, something to realize, of course, is that these guys are so disposable. Yes, they've been using up larva, but obviously LiveZerg does have a lot of extra resources, and KiWiKaKi, yeah, I don't know. This is dangerous situation. He does have another mothership, doing a great job, though, with these Blink Stalkers, and will he actually outmatch these Zerglings? The Zerglings clearly doing a lot of damage, but has it been worth it? The unit loss tab just getting slowly worse and worse here for KiWiKaKi. Losing the Zerglings isn't nearly as much of a big deal as losing a whole bunch of Stalkers. Now, KiWiKaKi was actually able to deal with that, as we see there, but we will be seeing some more quick reinforcements here from LiveZerg with a bunch of Broodlords right now. Here come those Zerglings as well. KiWiKaKi again trying to come out with that additional mothership. Where's it being built? There we go. Mothership coming out from over here. So the mothership will be coming back into play, sacrificing a few more of the workers because he is pretty much mined out completely right now. Not a lot left in terms of resources here for LiveZerg. Hopefully he makes use of what little he does have left. But there we go, sacrificing those drones here at those photon cannons. And there comes in the mothership. But at the same time, here comes the big push. We do have a lot of Broodlords in here. And what does KiWiKaKi have? KiWiKaKi sitting with a ton of Blink Stalkers, some Zealots and Archons here as well. Broodlords and Zerglings creating some sort of a buffer, and this is actually perfect for LiveZerg because he can use those Zerglings to actually stop those Stalkers from getting too close to those Broodlords. And it looks like KiWiKaKi may be losing this expansion. He does need to try to protect this if at all possible. Pulling forward, there we go, blinking right up under the Broodlords and target firing them down. Zerglings will be swooping in right now to try to get us around and take advantage of the fact that those Blink Stalkers have that blink on cooldown and forced to blink again to try to take out these Broodlords. There we go, finally mopping up the Broodlords, but Zerglings mopping up the rest of everything else. That mothership sitting idle over here, dangerous, didn't want to get too close to those corruptors, I'm guessing, or maybe he just forgot about it. But that certainly could have helped. I'm really baffled as to why he didn't pull that mothership forward earlier. That cloak could have helped him out quite a bit. Lots more Zerglings reinforcements coming out now, right now for LiveZerg. KiWiKaKi able to defend this expansion, luckily. We have a lot of reinforcements coming on through. KiWiKaKi pretty much mined out of everything right now but this high yield, so both players sitting very low. KiWiKaKi does have a lot of resources available, though. It's really still anyone's game, although, again, KiWiKaKi hasn't really done any damage. I mean, this entire game has just been LiveZerg being aggressive and KiWiKaKi trying to defend, but if he can defend himself long enough, and the fact that he still has mining going on and LiveZerg does not, is a problem for LiveZerg. So, you know, as long as KiWiKaKi can defend himself against this last kind of big wave, all LiveZerg is really going to be able to do is come out with a lot of Zerglings, because his Vespian is certainly hurting quite a bit. So KiWiKaKi may actually be able to prevail in this game. We'll be very, very intrigued to see what takes place here. Man, this is intense. I don't even know what to say. This has just been a completely nuts game. Now we have a Templar Archives coming out right now, so KiWiKaKi getting prepared to get some high Templar if necessary. He realizes at this point of the game that his opponent's probably close to mined out, with not a lot of Vespian left and pretty much relying on any resources that he has banked. Obviously, high Templar, if those come into play, they will be very, very effective. So if he can get some high Templar in against this massive amount of Zerglings that we have here for LiveZerg, then he could just be able to defend this. But here we go, LiveZerg getting close to the supply cap right now, sitting at 163. KiWiKaKi just at the 112 right now. He does have the Psionic Storm getting research right now. There it is. So Psionic Storm will be getting chrono boosted through, and we'll want to warp in some high Templar right now so they can try to accumulate some of that energy. So we can see right now sitting with quite a few 6 high Templar. We are seeing a bit of mobilization here though for LiveZerg. LiveZerg pushing, and if he pushes before the storm, he needs to push before the storm finishes. If he waits too long and storm finishes, then those Zerglings pretty much are toast. So KiWiKaKi just needs to hold on for a few moments longer. Now we need to continue. Please continue to chrono boost right now. We do have the Brew Lords getting ready to engage. KiWiKaKi should hold off. He should wait until that Psionic Storm finishes and then engage. Please chrono boost. There we go. And a lot of Zerglings getting ready to engage. Now he does, of course, want to try to defend this expansion. It is dangerously low from that last engagement. Zerglings getting ready, primed to attack. KiWiKaKi moving around with the mothership, trying to defend Zerglings. Getting forward to engage. We have Psionic Storm just about to finish, but the Zerglings getting a full surround on those Stalkers, trying to blink away. Please, Psionic Storm, finish. We need some storms really badly, and the mothership gets dropped. Storms not able to get oh man, storms did not get laid down. We saw the vortex there from that mothership, but look at that, KiWiKaKi calling the good game. The Psionic Storm was just a moment too late. We saw those Zerglings move in, mop up all of the Stalkers and Zealots that KiWiKaKi had. That in addition to those Brew Lords, it was hard for those Blink Stalkers to get underneath them, and just a moment or two longer, KiWiKaKi would have had that Psionic Storm, and he could have taken care of those Zerglings, but unfortunately, it did not work out that way. What a game. KiWiKaKi opened up this game with a Forge Fast Expand, while LiveZerg went Pool Extractor into Expansion. We then saw KiWiKaKi go for a 6-gate level 1 upgrade push. However, with some great unit management and pulling down the drones to assist, we saw LiveZerg successfully defend this 6-gate push from KiWiKaKi. After the 6th gate, KiWiKaKi transitioned into Heavy Phoenix, and both players are macroing pretty hard, going for some pretty hefty expansions. Now, as we can see here, KiWiKaKi's Phoenix play was able to do a bit of damage. However, we did see LiveZerg respond by pulling down with some Infestors, and look at those devastating fungal growths. Them plus the Hydras managed to mop up all of KiWiKaKi's Phoenixes. Our first big engagement came at 18:30 game time when we saw LiveZerg push out with a lot of Roaches, Hydras, and Infestors. We can see Charged Zealots and Archons here for KiWiKaKi with some nice Neural Parasites, though. LiveZerg was able to do a good job in a situation where he very well could have easily lost. I'm sorry, I cannot talk. But anyways, what we're going to see here is, unfortunately, when those Neural Parasites do drop, the Archons being so strong are able to mop up the rest of the Zerg army. With a very strong economy, just a few minutes after that first large engagement, we saw LiveZerg push out with a secondary attack with just as strong of an army. Lots of roaches, lots of hydras, lots of infestors. This was a big point in the game for LiveZerg. He was able to drop down a gateway, ton of pylons, as well as that forge. Now KiWiKaKi did what he could to defend, but it wasn't enough, and it actually took KiWiKaKi quite some time to deal with this large push from LiveZerg. For the most part, the rest of the game was just a lot of macro and a lot of back and forth, with LiveZerg being aggressive and KiWiKaKi trying to defend. KiWiKaKi never truly took an offensive. Now, one big thing to realize is that with this transition into Broodlords, LiveZerg was able to control the high yields. Very hard for the Protoss player to expand to this high yield with so many Broodlords and Corruptors in play, and that certainly was a big factor in this game. At 30 minutes, we had a large engagement for which KiWiKaKi had a mothership and was able to drop down a vortex. Now we're going to see LiveZerg respond properly by actually pulling all of his units inside of that. Now what's going to happen at this point is that once everything pops out, we actually see LiveZerg take care of pretty handedly the army of KiWiKaKi. This was another big decisive factor. I mean, LiveZerg responding properly to that by pulling all of his units inside. Had he kept half of his units outside, he actually could have been in a lot of trouble. So LiveZerg was able to mop up everything that KiWiKaKi had here, but then KiWiKaKi warped in a lot of Blink Stalkers and was actually able to take care of these Broodlords and fend off LiveZerg one more time. Our last big fight came at 42 minutes game time. We're seeing LiveZerg push down with his Broodlords and sitting with a ton of Zerglings. Now, a key factor in this engagement was that KiWiKaKi was just a few moments away from having Psionic Storm finished, and had it come a bit earlier, he would have had a much easier time dealing with this massive Zerglings. But without that storm, these High Templar could not take care of these Zerglings, and the Zerglings were able to do massive amounts of damage and mop up all the Stalkers at KiWiKaKi, and that's actually why KiWiKaKi lost decisively here. Again, had he had that Psionic Storm, he could have dealt with this a lot easier and then used those Blink Stalkers to take out these Broodlords, but unfortunately didn't work out that way, and KiWiKaKi was forced to call the GG. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this commentary. As always, if you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep watching and keep owning.